We submitted our FAFSA, but our circumstances have changed since then. My spouse has lost his job, so what do we do? Can we get more aid? Well, that's a really common question right now because based on the FAFSA, you're always using the prior year tax return. And that information, how much money you made, may or may not be an accurate representation of what your family finances are like today. One of the questions I often get is, can we ask for more money because our financial circumstances have changed? The short answer is yes. Yes, you can always ask for more money, but the school is not obligated to give you more money. Here's what happens. So schools, when you do have a change in circumstances, schools want to see that it was a legitimate change. You have to talk about things that have already happened, not what is going to happen. So for example, I or my spouse lost their job a month ago, 6 months ago, a year, whatever. That's fine. But a situation where you got notified through your employer that you're going to be laid off in a year, 6 months, 3 months, 1 month, whatever. That's not an acceptable excuse because it hasn't happened. And after all, the employer might change their mind, or you might find another job to start the day after you leave this current one. There's really no hardship in that case. So it has to be things that already happened. And it had to have created a hardship. Obviously, losing a job can be pretty traumatic. But if you had to spend extra money because you upgraded from economy seats to business class on your airfare, that probably didn't create a hardship. And obviously something like that was voluntary anyway, so it doesn't really count. But here's how schools view this. So when they take that information, let's suppose that, whatever thing happened has already happened and you provided the documentation for it. Schools can use what's called PJ, or professional judgment, to decide whether or not they should manually adjust your figures and recalculate aid to potentially give you more. Obviously, schools can outright deny the appeal because they don't think their reasons are legitimate, right? That's obviously one outcome. But even if they accept the appeal, say, okay, yeah, we agree with this, we appreciate the documentation, but they might not give you any more money. Sometimes what happens is that families think that schools have rejected the appeal, but the schools have actually accepted it. It just didn't make a difference once the numbers were adjusted. So a lot of people think, well, my income went down by $50,000 a year, or whatever the number is. But once you kind of redo the calculations through the financial aid formula, the impact might have been minimal. And oftentimes schools, they dole out aid based on bands, if you will. So for example, if your numbers fall in between a certain range, but, and so maybe you were at the top of that range, but now with the adjustment, you're at the bottom of that range, but you're still in that same overall range, whatever it is for them. Again, that would be an example where they say, yeah, we agree with your appeal. We buy your reasons for the change of circumstances, but we're still not going to give you any more money because you're still in that same range. Now, that might not seem fair, and I get that, but that's the way the system works. So the bottom line is that if you have had a significant change in financial circumstances and the change has already occurred and you can document it, and it was truly for an extraordinary, let's say, unforeseen reason, okay, and not certainly something's voluntary, like you voluntarily quit your job or you voluntarily upgrade your airline tickets, right? But absent those things, if everything else is legitimate, can you ask for more money? Absolutely. But again, it does not guarantee you will get any more. Keep those questions coming. I love seeing the comments. So if you have a question you'd like me to address, put in the comments. So keep them coming. And if your question shows, then you might see it answered on one of these videos. So as always, stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you next time.